Hi everyone. Thanks for joining me for the full moon on December 25th, 2015, 6:11 a.m. Eastern Time. I gotta write something down real quick. This is also my solar return chart almost. My solar return this year is happening a little later in the day. Well, like a lot later. 11:30 at night or so, but in my solar return chart, this is in the first house. I have Virgo rising and the moon's at 13, and everything else is pretty much the same. So if anybody's an astrologer and has any ideas about that, I'd be happy to hear it, but no pressure or anything. I don't know a lot about the solar return. I know you look at where the sun is, and you look at the ascendant. I thought Jupiter conjunct the node in the first house on my solar return kind of interesting. But this is on Christmas Day for those of us who celebrate Christmas or Yule or, the solstice chart. I ran that too. It's actually a little different than that. In the solstice chart, Mercury is squaring everything. And here it's just squaring Mars. So that's a few days before. That's the 21st. I always run the solstice chart for my own. I've always done that. I've never run these new and full moon charts until I started doing the YouTube videos, but I always run those cardinal ingress charts is what it is. When the sun moves into a cardinal sign, then it starts of the new season. And I feel like it can be really useful in looking at the energy of the upcoming season. And I've always done that since I was able to run computer charts. That's one of the things I've always kind of looked at. Okay, but this is Christmas Day, 25th of December, 3 degrees of Cancer. The sun's at 3 Capricorn. Well, it's home and family, which is so apropos, right? The sun and moon in Cancer, full moon in Cancer. I mean, yeah, with the full moon, things sometimes can come to culmination. That can be a factor in that stuff, but it's the Cancer, and Cancers are moody too. If you've ever been around a Cancerian, you know that they're very moody. But I always get along with them, it's just that they change as the moon changes, it's emotional, it's mothers, it's women, it's food and feeding and all these sorts of things. This is what the Cancerian energy is. It's natural ruler of the 4th house, which is where you came from, your family of origin, where you've been, where you feel most at home even. There is a trine to Neptune. So I like that, I feel like that could be really good. The thing that with these aspect lines, before I get too much into the specifics here, when I open this, how these are all sort of pointing at what is that thing? Is it called an obelisk? It's sort of this faceted gemstone thing. And I think they used it on ships or something. They're like green, usually. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, let me know. Put it in the comments. I think it might be called an obelisk, but I'm not for sure on that. But that's what it reminds me of. It's like pointing in the direction, and it's showing the direction. And it does look like it's faceted, Pyramid maybe, but more like that, one of those things. I think they use them on ships, but anyways. But everything just points right over here, Your attention just goes right over here. So this is where we should be putting our attention. I mean, the full moon in Cancer and this Mercury square Mars. There could be, it could be fighting and arguing. People could be touchy. Mercury square Mars, where is that Mercury? In Capricorn, isn't it? Yeah, over here. Square Mars in Libra. Ugh. And that's also... Okay, but let's just get to this first. Mercury square Mars. People could be overly touchy. People could get their feelings hurt by something that's said. Think twice before you say anything. You might say something and the Libra energy is real sensitive anyway. And the full moon in Cancer, emotions are high. I mean, that's one way it could go. That's something to be aware of, or something to be aware of, I guess. Just be aware of it. And Mercury, think before you say anything about people's feelings. Because emotions, and with the trine of Neptune, emotions are just very high. period. Every year at this time, emotions are very high. I mean, I know I talk on and on about my stuff, but with my family and that, I mean, I'm cool today, and overall I've been cool, but it's just like, where was I? I was in the grocery store, and that Chrissy Hynde song comes on the music, 10,000 miles or whatever, and the very first line is, he's gone, and all of a sudden I'm flashing on like my brother and me, and I'm sitting there crying, breaking down practically in the frozen food aisle, you know. So people's emotions are just right there at the surface. I mean, any other time I could hear that song and it wouldn't do that to me. You know, I was going along like perfectly okay. You know, it's almost like an anxiety attack, but not different, but like you just never know when it might hit you. Not anxiety, but this being overcome with emotion, you know, becoming really emotional. And, you know, in the positive vibe, it can be really magical and sentimental. And with Neptune, you know, it could be a very magical time. So there's that element of it. But I just feel like people could get offended or cry at a drop of a hat or get offended, or however however one expresses becoming overwhelmed. You know, you might break down and cry, or some people might get angry and lash out. Or, you know, or anxiety. I guess anxiety attack would be a part of it. I don't know why I said that, but it's like people who have anxiety attacks a lot. It's like you just feel normal 1 minute, and then the next minute you're in panic mode, you know. And I was feeling normal, and the next minute I'm breaking down in the frozen food section. So it can just all of a sudden and come up on you like that sometimes, you know. And full moon is culmination, you know, brings it up to a head. And it could be family issues too. This isn't probably not the time to bring up all this old stuff. This isn't the time to have it out, okay? Mercury square Mars. I'm going to argue with you. I'm going to be very frank with you with Mercury and Capricorn. I'm going to be very frank and cold and factual, and not really taking into it. It's the opposite. You know, Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer, the feminine, the emotional, the patriarchy, the you know, serious side, you know. And like, well, what did I say? I don't know. I was just talking the truth. What did I? So I mean, just be real careful about things you say. I think it could be like I hate to say it, but a ticking time bomb, because it is still squaring Uranus too. Maybe that's why I was picking up the anxiety attack thing. Well, people get anxiety. You know, there's anxiety in the air, stressness. You know, they call it, because it's stressful. It can be. I try to like plan really well, but I'm lucky that I can plan really well. You know, some people you have to work, you know, it's your regular job, certain hours, and there's only so many hours in the day. You know, but I like to do everything way ahead of time, so I'm just can sit back and chill and enjoy, right? But it's not always possible. And what else was I looking at this Chiron here? Well, I guess it could be, it's 6 degrees out, making that aspect to the Mars, one of those odd adjustment aspects. Well, Mars is with the nodes even more, like pretty much dead on there. Yeah, so, well, I guess the message there would be, like, you chose these people. You really did. I mean, you chose, everybody said, well, you can't help, you didn't choose to be born. Well, I think you did. I'm here to tell you that you did choose to be born. You chose to be born into this family because you wanted to learn these certain lessons. That was, you know, you did choose that on the soul level. And maybe you get down here and it's just too heavy. That can be too sometimes, you know. Which brings us up to this Jupiter node conjunction. You know, this is about realigning with our path. It just is, you know. I brought up about the, you know, the people born with Pluto and Virgo. This is a time for us to come forward and, you know, deal with Mother Earth and that. But also this is a time of health when this is coming in closer here. Virgo is health. Virgo is be of service. You know, don't be whining about how you got your feelings hurt. That's harsh. I shouldn't say it like that. Don't be whining. I saw a great post online, though. Somebody says when you're complaining about what's wrong, but you offer no solutions as to how to improve or fix it, that's called whining. And I would agree with that, too, you know. Virgo's all about finding solutions. Virgos are all about, how can I be of service? How can I fix things? How can I, let's make a plan. What can we do? Let's get to work. Let's work on things. You know, Virgos are kind of noble that way. You know, Virgo energy is too. They're going to get their hands dirty. You know, they're going to be down in the trenches, getting their hands dirty. Virgos aren't afraid of hard work. They're going to do whatever it takes. You know, solution-oriented, plan-oriented, fixers. Virgos are fixers. How can I fix this for you? How can I make this better for you? So that's the energy or the direction that we're meant to be striving for at this time. Okay, let's get real, because all this Pisces energy, it's all beautiful, dreamy, lovely, and everything, but it can be kind of just off in never land. And then, bam, Virgo's like, come on, this is reality. Let's get a real plan. Let's lay down let's make an outline. Let's get a plan, you know. On a more mundane level too, it's like cleaning your house, getting organized, you know, all that kind of stuff too. But it's on a bigger picture, because the node is involved and the Jupiter's involved. These are bigger picture stuff here. It's like, let's get our act together here, dudes. How are we gonna get our act together? Let's have a solution to this, you know. So that's some good vibes. That's some good energy. And with the Pluto and Pallas energy kind of trining that, you know, it's a pretty wide orb on the Pluto. But it's like, it's gonna be it could be powerful. And what's the third in that, though? Taurus. We don't have anything in Taurus. Well, if you have something in Taurus, you know, and you're getting activated like that, this could really be something for you to just like step forward, you know, and really stand and be counted for. That's what I'm hearing. Stand and be counted for. Let me get a quick drink of water. It was 12:12 when I said let me get a drink of water. 12:12 has passed, has it not? Yeah, this is like, I'm recording this on the 20th or 21st or something. Okay, this Saturn-Neptune thing is still happening. You know, it's still happening. Is Saturn doing anything else? It's conjuncting the ascendant in this chart. That's irrelevant, pretty much. Yeah, so they're doing their thing. But again, this is this longer vibration. This is this longer changes that are occurring, and I've talked at length about that, how it's going to be more inward. It's all bubbling up, you know, this religion stuff is all bubbling up, because Sag rules religion, you know, 9th house, religion, spirituality, philosophy. It's going to undergo changes with Saturn there. And Saturn's going to be there for a little bit yet, I don't know, another year or so, right? A couple years Saturn is? 2 or 3 years? I don't know, I'm not for sure. But we're going to be in this for a little while. That was the other thing I wanted to take a look at. Venus is in here, but it's not really doing any. It's sextiling the node. And sextiling Jupiter, yeah. It's sextiling Jupiter. See, but this Mars in Libra is kind of in there, in the middle, or mucking things up somehow. And that's that, I don't know, is that a semi-sextile? It's one of those adjustment, maybe there's some kind of, is there a yod going on? Is there anything down here? No, not really. No, there would have to be an opposition to Mars, right, for it to be a yod. But this is some different energy up here. Venus sextiling Jupiter, this is nice energy. Venus, Mars, the love planets are in, there needs to be an adjustment. They're pretty much right on here too, 24. So these, when they're next door neighbors like this, we need to make an adjustment. There's adjustments that need to be made. It's a very different energy. Mars is the early ruler of Scorpio. So that could be, well, actually that's a mutual reception. I just caught that, huh? Look at that. So yeah, Mars rules Scorpio and Venus rules Libra. There's a mutual reception going on. So normally harmonious. Yeah, but there's something funky about this, you know. I'm just not sure what it is, but there's just some kind of funky energy about this, you know. Mars is trying to be sensitized in Libra, and Mars is not sensitized, you know. And it's like it's trying to toughen up the Venus energy. like it's like be careful with love. You know, you could be harsh. Venus in Scorpio could be a little harsh. It's brutal honesty is one of the things I brought up before. Sag has that quality too, but like Venus in Scorpio is brutal honesty. Mars and Libra, that's the opposite energy of it, you know. Mars is Aries energy, it's an opposition. So I know there's just something kind of funky about it. And what I'm getting about it is people could be really oversensitive and you could hurt somebody's feelings. Let's look at this, because Juno, I didn't catch this, Juno is trining. There's a grand trine in water with Juno, Neptune, and this full moon. So that's pretty cool. I mean, this could be a time of great beauty. This is all about beauty and creation and making everything pretty and nice with this. And there could be so much, it's so much of a magical element here with this. This is all, water is receptive, inward, the moon, Neptune, Pisces, you know, these are the water signs, Scorpio. And then Juno is beauty, and Neptune is beauty and creation and everything. And then Cancer. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys can probably get some good photos. Too. That's just the photos will probably turn out really good with a strong Neptune and Juno aspect. You know, everybody's going to look pretty for the pictures this year. But it's something deeper than that. There's something mystical, totally mystical about it for sure. There's like this mystical energy, this mystical vibe going on. What it was, because the asteroids aren't in here. Let's see, it's 17 Aquarius. That's trining Lilith. Ceres trine Lilith. Trine the part of fortune, but that's only for this chart, so I won't include it. Lilith, feminine. Ceres, feminine. Goddess. Goddess energy. Ceres is the goddess of the grain. Well, Black Moon Lilith is like... I'm not sure if she's a goddess of something, but it's a feminine, that type of, there's this ancient gods and goddesses, mythology vibration to this that always brings up those kind of things, those kind of energies. I don't know, I was flashing on something there for a minute. I kind of lost it. I think it had something to do with like... maybe the Forum in Rome, because I was talking about the gods and goddesses, or a decree of some sort, or some kind of. It feels like diplomacy. You know, like politics, maybe, but diplomacy, or maybe somebody coming to some kind of an agreement, or some kind of law being passed or drafted, or, you know, something, a peace treaty maybe even, you know, something like that. But that's got that kind of vibe, that kind of energy in it. Yeah, I talked about Mercury is trining that Jupiter Virgo thing up there. Oh, anything else? What else is going on here? Neptune, Chiron, the nodes. This is squaring. This is Vesta, right? Vesta squaring this this thing here. This full moon thing that we're talking about. You know, this thing. Anyways, yeah, so Vesta. Well, that's again home, hearth, family. You know, the Vestal Virgins. I mentioned before I don't really have anything to back it up or any detailed ideas about it, but I just feel like Vesta is the true ruler of Virgo. That's going to come out, because right now Virgo is considered ruled by Mercury, which is, I mean, yeah, Mercury. Or what am I trying to say? Yeah, Mercury. But Mercury is Gemini, you know. So these dual rulerships, they like Scorpio used to be ruled by Mars, like we were just talking about. Now it's ruled by Pluto. As these other planets are discovered or start being factored in, it changes. And just another weird side note, talking about that, I remember hearing years ago that people were talking, they thought Vulcan was the true ruler of Taurus, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, as is Libra. So just a little side note there. And maybe the reason I think that Vesta's the true ruler of Virgo is because it's the Vestal Virgins and Virgo the Virgin. That might be the only reason. But I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a logical mind thing. I think it's just something I'm just vibing on and picking up. But it's home, hearth, family for sure again. And then squaring this full moon, there could be conflicts, you know. But I mean, that's nothing new, right? Isn't there always something that just comes up at these times, you know, when we get together with these people? Isn't there always something? Seems to be. Well, try to go the route of Neptune. Be careful. The biggest message or thing I want to say is be careful of people's feelings. You really have to tiptoe around. I think it's like a raw nerve, like I was saying about me breaking down, or people, but that was my reaction. But people get crazy too. They get if you saw any of that footage, it was so crazy of that Black Friday where they were just all tearing at each other. You know, that energy. It's this. It's a buildup of energy. You know, and the full moon is the release. You know. But let it be a culmination of love and celebration rather than a culmination of stress and anxiety. I keep wanting to say anxiety, so I just feel like anxiety is high for people who might have to have that problem there. Yeah. So I really think we covered it. I'm like, I can go more than a half hour, but I think we kind of covered it all. Yeah, again, this is almost my solar return. So, if you put Virgo on the ascendant and the moon at 13, it's my solar return chart. So if anybody has any ideas about that, I'd really like to hear it. If you look up in this corner in this info section, it's going to take you to my page here. This order page. I know it's a mess. My site's a mess. I'm going to try to get to it as soon as I can. But here's the thing, you got to keep scrolling. I know it says mandalas, but everything's on there. Scroll and all the readings and all that's down there, including make a donation. If you really like these videos, it's awesome to make a donation. If you go on my channel too, you can check out, you can do that by clicking on the Rock and Roll Prophetess name on this video, and it'll take you to my channel. Check out some of my other channels, and then Inside the Creative Spirit, which, by the way, will be back next year. I've got a few lined up already, but again, I just didn't want to have an extra thing to do. You know, I have the great fortune of being able to schedule things kind of how I want, which I didn't want to have extra stress to schedule around this time of year. So it'll be back next year, and we've got lots more of that coming up in the new year. Check out some of my other channels, including this kids channel if you have small children. There's great stuff on here. This was my very first YouTube channel of my own, and this is the one that has my name, Vickie Verley. That's why it's already taken by this channel. That's why I don't use my name. But lots of cool stuff there for kids, and a couple of holiday tunes, Christmas time, of course, and then a Happy New Year's song. Cool stuff for kids, learning songs for kids, pretty cool. If you have little ones, grandchildren, or nieces and nephews, or whoever, younger siblings, definitely check it out. Soul Brother, check it out now. Okay, so here it is, the full moon on December 25th. Try to be kind. Try to not provoke anybody, and it could turn out to be a really beautiful day, and I hope it is for all of you. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Thanks for everything you do for my channel. Happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy everything, happy New Year. Peace.